Hello. For 35 years, federal funds through the Ryan White CARES Act have changed the lives of those diagnosed with HIV and AIDS. But some are concerned those funds are in jeopardy. We'll hear from one local agency. Plus, as work continues on Pittsburgh's new Arts Landing, the art for the landing has been revealed. We'll hear how it's creating culture on the riverfront. And the art of ballet will be on display under the stars. We'll hear about that and the upcoming season for the Pittsburgh Ballet Theatre. So pull up a chair and meet us at the corner. Intersection starts right now. Hello, I'm Lisa Smith, the Director of Community Impact at KDKA Plus and the host of Intersections. For 35 years, federal funding for the Ryan White HIV/AIDS program has provided billions of dollars to greatly reduce infections and improve quality of life. But there's concern about budget proposals to slash millions from that program. And we're hearing from local agencies who worry about the impact of potentially losing funding. Joining me today are Mary Brockovich. She's the CEO of Allies for Health and Wellbeing. Also, Crystal McKee, a case manager for Allies for Health and Wellbeing. Thank you both so much for being with us today.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes. Yeah. So, Mary, you know, obviously this Ryan White program has been around, as we said, for over 3 decades. But how instrumental has it been over these 3 decades in really changing the way people deal with and experience HIV and AIDS?
So the Ryan White CARES Act was really a landmark legislation for people living with HIV. It ensured that they had access to medical care, and then a whole host of supportive services, including affordable housing, case management, food, legal assistance, transportation to medical appointments, as well as a sense of community, building a sense of community for folks. So without the Ryan White CARES Act, it would be very different. I truly believe that it's because of that funding that people have been able to live longer until we develop medications that would afford that opportunity.
Yeah. So what have you seen here locally, especially with your agency in terms of that funding? What have you been able to do with that funding here locally?
Allies for Health and Wellbeing has a very extensive case management program. We have about 560 clients at any given time, as well as we have a food pantry that's open 6 days a week for folks. We have mental health services for people living with HIV. We provide legal assistance for people, and then we also do support groups and emergency financial assistance.
Yeah. So, Crystal, you work with the Linkage to Care program. Explain, what you see from people who are coming in and experiencing the work that you do.
Yes, ma'am. It's usually the newly diagnosed clients or the ones that are lost to care. And initially, when you're newly diagnosed, there are so many things that are taking place in your mind that coming to your next appointment, starting your ART, knowing what the viral load is and the CD4 count, you need that education, you need that additional support. And what I do is I walk with them. I go to all appointments, I assist with transportation and everything, do the assessment, and if they need more permanent case management, then therefore I'll refer them to our case management program.
Yeah. So this federal funding impacts your piece of what you do, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So Mary, what is the concern if there is a reduction in dollars? I was looking and it sounded like it's going to be something like 77 million that could potentially be cut. And then the money's being kind of shifted around. It's being kind of commingled in a sense with other areas. So what is it about these changes that is concerning to you?
From our perspective, the concern is really in several arenas. With Crystal's program in particular, people who are either newly diagnosed or have fallen out of care for any number of reasons, tend to have higher viral loads because they haven't been taking their medication. That leaves them susceptible to infection, poor health outcomes. It also means they can transmit the virus more easily. So, you know, linking people to care is the first step in controlling the pandemic, the HIV pandemic. Also, when they talk about cutting, you know, commingling funds, people with HIV, believe it or not, are still stigmatized today. And when you put their carve-out funds together with funds that serve all the community members, people living with HIV are no longer a priority and can struggle with discrimination, have difficulty finding landlords who will rent to them. It becomes a challenge for folks, and then they worry about people sharing their status and what that might entail. So we are very concerned that those funds will be missing come 26.
And you've reached out to Congress members.
Correct.
And
correct.
What do you want people to do?
I would love for people to reach out to their local representatives, whether it's your congressman or certainly the senators, and just letting them know that funding for HIV is in fact critical to healthcare and public health and keeping people healthy.
And so, Crystal, I know you work with support groups, or you started a support group.
I started the Helping Hands support group for anyone newly diagnosed, linked to care. It's just, as long as you have a positive status, you are more than welcome to come. And it's peer-led in everything. Yes, ma'am. Yeah,
and we have something that we can show on the screen that shows when your next one is. I believe it's coming up in September.
Yes, ma'am, September 17th from 5 to 7 p.m. at Allies for Health Plus Wellbeing on Penn Avenue.
Yeah, and so when you say peer-led, that means just the people who are experiencing it, they're just talking about their experiences.
Yes, ma'am. With HIV, the different stigmas, there are survivors there. There are ones that are newly diagnosed, and they get education and additional support from the survivors because they lived it,
And that's encouraging.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Well, thank you both so much for being with us and sharing, this story. And we'll stay in touch and see what happens with the funding.
Thank you, Lisa. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Well, coming up, we're getting a sneak peek at the progress for the new Arts Landing project and hearing from one of the artists. Intersections, we'll be right back. Well, have you noticed a change in the landscape along Fort Duquesne Boulevard downtown? That's where Arts Landing, a new civic space, is offering a picturesque view of the Three Sisters, and it's set to be completed next year. But there's been lots of progress, including the announcement of several public art installations. Here to share more are Anastasia James. She is the Director of Galleries and Public Art for Pittsburgh Cultural Trust. We have Darian Johnson, one of the featured artists from Vault Art Studio, as well as Steph Neary, who is a manager for Vault Art Studio. Thank you all so much for being with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, so Anastasia, we talked a little bit about everything that's happening. We're starting to see a lot happening in that space. Kind of bring us up to date.
Absolutely. Well, since our April groundbreaking, construction is moving along at a steady pace, as you can see in the time-lapse video that you're sharing with the audience. We are on schedule for our soft opening in April of 2026, which will coincide with the NFL draft being hosted here in Pittsburgh, and then ready for our grand opening in June of 2026 to coincide with the Dollar Bank Three Rivers Arts Festival. So we're really excited about all that's been happening so far.
Yeah, and one of the other things that is exciting is you've announced who the artists are going to be for this project, for the public arts project. Was it because there is so much, talent here in Pittsburgh, was it difficult to narrow that number down?
It's a great question. We decided it was a great time a few weeks ago for the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust to announce the inaugural exhibition of public art that will open at Arts Landing next year. We're featuring work by 10 artists, all of whom have deep ties to the Pittsburgh region. And it was hard to narrow it down because there just is so much extraordinary talent that comes out of this city. But we feel like we have a really strong cohort of artists for this first exhibition.
Yeah, and part of that involves this collaboration with Vault Art. So, Steph, tell us a little bit about Vault Art and how this collaboration kind of came about.
Yeah, so at Vault Art Studio, we currently represent 17 artists with intellectual disabilities. We're under a project of Achieva, which provides lifelong support to people with disabilities and their families. And so having opportunities like this in the community really encompasses everything that we're trying to do with Vault Art Studio, and Darian Johnson included in this is incredible.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about Darian's art.
Yeah, so Darian makes all types of artwork, right?
You all right?
He makes paintings,
Yeah.
sculptures, and colored pencil renderings. And for Arts Landing, he will be having 3 larger-than-life Western PA native animals for people to interact with.
Yeah.
So Darian, I understand one is a snail. How did you make the snail?
Just now, make a clay. You have paint out. Paint brown.
Okay.
Yeah. Got a bear.
A bear?
Yeah.
And what's the other one?
Make a raccoon.
A raccoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then do you like to do also drawings of the city?
Yeah.
Can you show us one of your drawings there?
Yeah.
We'll turn it the other way. There we go. How did you do this?
Pencil.
Pencil?
Yeah.
It was a
Yeah.
color pencil?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So Anastasia, tell us a little bit about the decision to include Darren this year for this installation.
Absolutely. Of the 10 artists that we're working with, a number of the projects are collaborations between the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust and a number of local organizations. So we are working with the Children's Museum with their Tough Art program and the local artist John Pena. And the decision to work with Darian and Vault Art Studios evolved out of an ongoing partnership that the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust has with them. We have organized a number of exhibitions with some of the artists represented by Vault Art Studio. And as I developed a relationship with Darian in the studio, we began talking about creating sculptures for the park. And when Darian created snail, raccoon, and bear, they seemed absolutely perfect for the program that we were launching.
Yeah. And so we have Darian, and then we have Thad Mosley as well. Those are just two of the artists. So tell us a little bit about Thad Mosley's installation.
Absolutely. So we had talked earlier about perhaps Mr. Mosley being included, and he was at the top of my list for artists to highlight and celebrate in the inaugural program at Arts Landing. We will be working with Public Art Fund in New York City to exhibit 8 monumental bronzes throughout the park, including a work titled Gate, which stands at 15 feet tall and will create an archway over one of the key entrances to the civic space. So everyone in the city will be able to enjoy it.
Yeah. And then there's some other pieces. Can you tell us about a few of the others?
Absolutely. Vanessa German is going to be creating a series of benches that are based on designs from hand tracings of elders in the city who will be 100 years old by 2026. We're also working with an artist with deep regional ties named Shai Keith, who is working on an illuminated glass and iron sculpture for the park. Other artists include Mikhail Owuna and Marcus Red, Lenka Clayton and Philip Andrew Lewis, and as I mentioned before, John Pena of the Tough Art program.
Yeah. So there's a lot of diversity in what was selected, and we were talking about just like age ranges and things like that. What do you think will be the reaction from visitors as they come and they see these installations?
I hope they feel a lot of joy. It was a goal of the Pittsburgh Cultural Trust to create entry points for people for exposure to the arts. Another example of this entry point is Sharmista Ray, who is a professor at Carnegie Mellon University, is designing a series of pickleball courts for us. So the idea being that you can engage with art and it will meet you where you are. You know, whether you're coming to play, whether you're coming to walk through the park with your dog, and to also show kind of local audiences the enormous amount of talent that is present in this city, and hopefully so that they can see a little bit of themselves reflected in the stories that the artwork is sharing.
Yeah, well, we can't wait to see all of it. We can't wait to see your work, Darian.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much for being with us, and we look forward to April of next year.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you.
I'm so happy.
All right, you're welcome. And coming up, a new season for the Pittsburgh Ballet Theatre starts soon, but you don't have to wait to see a show. Intersections will be right back. Well, if you don't have any plans for Sunday evening, there is a great event planned at Hartwood Acres Park with the Pittsburgh Ballet Theatre. The annual Ballet Under the Stars is a great opportunity to enjoy crafts, face painting, and the Pittsburgh Ballet. Adam W. McKinney is the artistic director at the Pittsburgh Ballet Theatre. And welcome back to Intersections.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Good to see you again.
Absolutely. So this is such a great community event. It's a chance for people to come out and see the ballet. Why is this something that you guys like to do every year?
Ballet Under the Stars is a program that Pittsburgh Ballet Theatre has been participating in at least since the late 1980s. And it's a great opportunity for an end of summer, family-friendly, free event. And it's also a way for the organization to kick off our season. This year is our 56th anniversary Dream season.
Yeah, 56 years, wow. But this is also like about exposure, right, to ballet for the community to see, you know, the performers, you know. Why is that exposure something that you guys really want to happen?
I was listening to Anastasia from the Cultural Trust talk about the arts and engagement and what it means to engage arts in a live venue. And so Ballet Under the Stars is exactly that. And we have a performance opportunity for audiences to participate in. Part of my mission as the artistic director is also to answer this question, what is ballet? And also, why is ballet? Why do we participate in this art form? Why is it important? And so with this program, we actually embody that for audiences, and we always welcome audiences to come dance with us.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about what happens. I mean, I know there's kind of like this pre-time where the kids can have fun. There's like some food and some drinks and things like that. So tell us a little bit about that whole afternoon part.
Sure, yeah, audience members are welcome to come to the Hartwood Acres Amphitheater area to participate in family-friendly programming. From 5:30, we'll have food trucks and balloons and games for young people, also some small dance classes. People can register to come eat and drink with me at the tent. You can register at pbt.org. And then as the sun sets, we'll start our live ballet performance, which will include classical works and contemporary works from last season, as well as a sneak peek into the season.
Yeah, so that's really cool that they get to see a little bit of this season. Talk about this season that's coming up. It's going to launch in October, I believe.
Launches in October.
With very apropos October-ish kind of show. So I'll let you tell us about it.
For sure. Backed by popular demand is Michael Pink's Dracula that we last performed in 2022, an audience favorite. That will be Halloween weekend. No better way to kick off the season than with Dracula. Then we have the Nutcracker, audience favorite, in December at the Benedum Center for the whole month of December. Then we will kick off 2026 with a mixed repertory program called America 250 with the PBT Orchestra. There will be several ballets in that program, one of which is The Mighty Casey, which is a ballet about baseball. Our spring mix program is at the August Wilson Center with 4 mixed repertory works of classical and contemporary works. And then we'll end the program with A Midsummer Night's Dream with the PBT Orchestra at the Benedum Center.
Yeah, and then you guys also have classes coming up, is that right? A slate of classes where people can come and learn from you. You're one of the
We do.
instructors.
We have a dance and fitness program whereby audience members can come and take many different types of dance classes at Pittsburgh Ballet Theatre in the Strip. And we also have a PBT masterclass series. There are 9 classes throughout the season, and I'll be teaching one of those masterclasses, and it's for dancers who have had some experience.
Yeah. How are we seeing ballet evolve a little bit? Just, over time, you've been here a few years now. Have we seen some changes? Are there more changes that you'd like to see happen?
Indeed. I think that we are at a particular moment in history when we get to be at the forefront of the changes that we want to see in the world and in ballet in particular. And so when people come to PBT, my hope is that they can notice that they belong, that they can see themselves represented on stage, that our doors are wider, that our tables are longer, that people can really experience the energy, the embodiment of our cultural values as an organization, and that they can have fun participating in this beautiful art form.
Yeah, well, it definitely sounds like a great upcoming season. We want to show our viewers again the information about Ballet Under the Stars. It is on Sunday, which many people are watching today. And I believe that they can go to your website to register. And so that is also on the screen. Thank you so much for being with us, Adam. We always love it when you come by.
It's always a pleasure. Thanks again for having me.
All right, you're welcome. And I'll have my last word when we come back. Exposure. Just the word alone suggests something eye-opening, something optical. You hear it a lot in photography in terms of light and illumination. So exposure can shine a light on something new that you've never seen. Or sometimes you can be the one in the light, being exposed for your character, qualities, talents, and abilities. Exposure can increase knowledge, change a trajectory, create a new interest. Sometimes exposure requires an action or an audience. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Intersections.